Good morning, witches and bitches. Welcome to Getting Slayed, day 2 of Cinco de Slay35. And Mother Nature had options for me today. It's raining, and I lifted yesterday. Yay me for following through on my plan. I also can hardly move because Slayer doesn't do anything halfway. So you guys are getting Yoga Slayer this morning because I need to stretch out really badly. Oh, that light's going to be annoying, huh? It's kind of like a halo. Good morning. Hang on, I'm going to see if you guys can still see me if I turn that off. Can you still see me? Can we talk about how skinny I am? Look at this shit. What? Oh my gosh, did you guys see my video from last summer? Well, like last May or whatever, and how quiet I was? Someone said what I love most is seeing your confidence. I'm like, dude, that's fucking practice, right? Like, you guys, if you want to do something, just start doing it. Just start taking action, because you just get... Now, this is just like I'm talking to my best friends. You know, when I first started, I'd be like all nervous and, you know, but I wanted to share my message. So, again, just start doing it. So primal brain planning. I'm totally skinny. I know. I still have 40 pounds to lose. How crazy is that? So I lifted yesterday. I downloaded this app that creates a WOD for you, which to CrossFit people, it's workout of the day. So you go into the CrossFit box and they have a workout on the board, which is part of what I loved about it, because it was something different every day and it was kind of fun, like an adventure, right? Now I know you get a dopamine hit from doing new things, which a WOD does for you all the time, right? And you're constantly trying different things. So I thought, well, you know, I would consider going back to CrossFit, but financially it's just not an option for me right now, right? And I already have a gym membership so I can swim. So I downloaded this app and it generates the WOD for you. You put like what equipment you have and it gives you a short workout. And this one was back squats and burpees. Fucking burpees, you guys. I was like, come on. And then I was like, well, I friggin' gotta do it now. I can't just keep here shuffling until I get a WOD I want. Then that defeats the purpose, right? So I did it, which was great, but I haven't done a back squat in like since 2012 probably. I was saying a lot of the same things, but not as much enthusiasm. Yeah, candy, that's when it started to get into play. I started to get my morning routine in place. And you guys, I have so much, just like, I've been doing these videos since I started. Like, I've got even bigger faced videos. It's all kinds of fun. I'm going to start laying them out there every now and then so you guys can see me. And it's like, whoa, wow, you know? But it's fun to see my brain going through it and then to read the journals and see exactly where it clicked, because we all have different clickable moments, right? And that kind of brings me to this morning's topic of the Urge Jar in planning, in restaurant planning. So going through a lot of the plans yesterday, I thought, oh, this is really important to talk about, because it's something that I think I learned in while I was doing Fit and Fat, and Corinne being like, what do you mean you don't know where you're gonna be? You know how she is, right? She's like, that's fucking bullshit. You can figure out where you're going to be and what you're going to eat. Oh, you don't know what your weekend plans are going to be? You know you're going to be at the ball field. Take a fucking cooler. And I was like, shit, she's right. I just got to sit and think about it, and I'm going to know where I'm going to be and how to control my environment. That was a huge clickable moment for me last year. clickable moment. Because it started forcing my smart brain to plan, right? Because you want all these decisions to come from Slayer, not from Neanderthal Addie. Remember Neanderthal Addie, she is primal. She just wants immediate gratification. She wants it now. She doesn't give a shit what Slayer's saying. She is fighting Slayer tooth and nail because she wants that Snickers bar at the checkout line. 2 urges for me yesterday, you guys. I came home, I had chicken jicama tacos on my plan, which I love, by the way. I love chicken jicama tacos. But I looked in there and I was like, ooh, a bison burger and those sweet potatoes I made sound really good, right? And this is where I'm getting to the detail of the plan. So pre-Urge Jar Addie would have been okay with that substitution. It's still my healthy food. It's still eating to my protocol of foods. Why not swap it out? And here is where the importance is. And you guys got to listen to this Urge Jar podcast. But in me swapping that out, I am giving Neanderthal Addie immediate gratification. She is getting what she wants. So what? That decision wasn't a chocolate cake. It was still not the decision of Slayer. So we have to, so the first thing we need to do, Brooke gives you 6 steps in the Urge Jar and in that, in the podcast, okay? So in order for us to train Neanderthal Addie, just like you're training your kids, right? Brooke relates it to a toddler. I'm calling my toddler Neanderthal Addie. I like this concept of me being like a ape and like saving, slaying some food for my family and shit. So anyhow, Neanderthal Addie. So the whole process is that we need to train Neanderthal Addie. So this is really important. And I didn't realize how important, really, this whole past year, I've lost 87 pounds, this not being a clickable moment until the Urge Jar webinar. Like, sometimes you hear things and teachers come in and out of your life at different times for different reasons. And you can have heard the same concept and not been ready for it. It's when you are ready. But I tell you this. If you do the plan and if you learn to sit with urges, this is where the money is at. In all kinds of urges throughout your life, if you can learn how to feel your emotions, that's it. That is the piece we're missing, learning to feel emotions. So the whole Urge Jar does that, but the concept of it, you have to plan. So putting on your plan that I'm going to go out to eat and I'm going to make the best choice. You're not making a decision ahead of time. Do you see the difference? Versus, here's what I'll do now. I'm literally like a pit bull. I will either take control of the meeting if I can. If it's in my realm, I will give a client 2 restaurants to choose from that I know I have good choices at. That I already have eaten at before probably and made choices. If I am unable to take control and tell people what I want, I will find out what the restaurant is. I'll make a call. Hey, do you know where we're eating? You know, I want to plan, ahead or, food allergies. Everyone can understand food allergies. Act like you got a friggin' food allergy if you need an excuse to be assertive at all. Another thing, if I'm in a meeting, if I'm going to a meeting, this happened yesterday. Oh my God, you guys, I should get a rock for this shit. A vendor brings in these gooey smelling awesome breakfast sandwiches that were loaded with crack, by the way, crack being gluten, fresh fruit, coffee. Normal pre-Urge Jar Addie would have been okay with me eating that fruit, right? Because fruit is good. I allow all fruits on my plan. Slayer Addie did not plan for this breakfast sandwich moment at work yesterday, right? Primal or Slayer pulled out her fruit parfait and was like, whoa, And everyone's like, ooh, what's that? Did you make that? I'm like, yeah. What do you mean? You're not eating Slayer Parfait yet? Come on. And it was so good. It was so much better than the sandwich. But Neanderthal Addie wanted the sandwich. She wanted that friggin' sandwich. I didn't get the sandwich. I didn't get the fruit. I went and sat back down in the conference room, and I sat there with it a bit, and then I pulled out my Slayer Parfait and proceeded to eat that. And I'm rewarding Slayer, right? And putting the rock in my Urge jar for sitting through that Urge. Now, this is another thing. Okay. Hi, Christina from Australia. Hey, guys. I know I'm like not interacting, but now that I'm on a time limit, I gotta like shove the information down your throats. Hold on. Because Slayer in yoga poses drinks coffee too. Okay, so we're training the primal brain to sit through urges, and this goes through any habit you slay. I first did all my major urge work with Rachel Hart from Take a Break, and I did this when I was a fit and fat groupie, and I really wanted to take a break from drinking. I knew this was not setting me up for success. I knew Super Slayer did not consume alcohol like Neanderthal Addie was consuming alcohol, getting those quick dope hits, just hitting it hard, right? Literally. So this is something I really wanted to do. And Rachel Hart's work on the urges, which she learned from Brooke at the Life Coach School, was a game changer for me. Learning to observe my emotions, to allow the emotions. But in order to even have those, you have to shut the Neanderthal bitch down. You have to sit in those urges. In order to do that, guess what you need? You need a plan. Because if you have no plan, I think Brooke says on this podcast, 90% of our decisions we make from the primal brain. Most people, because of the lack of a plan. This is how important the plan is. And so I estimated we have at least 150 Slay Sisters set up, and we had maybe 50 plans posted yesterday. So I'm hoping this is just a representation of those people that want to participate publicly, and that the other 2/3 of us do have plans, because you do need a plan. It can be a simple plan, but it needs to be exactly what you're going to eat that day. So if you are going to go to a restaurant, don't bullshit yourself. You can figure out what to eat at that restaurant. You can find out where you're going and make those decisions ahead of time. And when you get there, it is not okay to sub out with other foods that you think are acceptable, because you are not training Neanderthal Addie. So Brooke gives 6 steps in the Urge jar, you guys. And hang on, I'll get the Urge jar. Oh shit. 11 minutes already, Candy. Oh my gosh. Downward dog. Pedal your dog out. Take your dog for a walk. Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Urge jar. Here's my Urge jar. So I put it right here by the door, and we all know I'm getting rocks from the mountain, right? And when you go out to a restaurant, I have little ones so I can put in my pocket, and I've got a couple in my work bag, okay? So, see, I got myself pretty flowers too. Okay, so my rocks, this is my marble for my Urge jar, right? So here's the process. So step 1 is that you have to have a plan 24 hours ahead of time, right? So you need to make a decision from Slayer, not from Neanderthal Addie. So whatever you like to call your people in your head, make sure you make those decisions. 24 hours ahead of time, so you are nowhere near Neanderthal Addie. I find even in the morning, I can be Neanderthal Addie very easily with my plans. So make those decisions ahead of time. Step 2 is to eat only and exactly what you have on your plan. So I think I hammered that point good enough, right? Eating out, you can say, this is where it kind of clicked for me during the Urge Jar seminar or webinar she had, and I didn't hear it in the podcast. So she's like, you know, I'll go out for dinner and I'll say I'm going to have a steak and broccoli. If I get to the restaurant and there's no broccoli, I don't put something else. I just eat the steak. And I was like, wow. Yeah, I totally would have subbed that shit. And that's why my brain is okay with subbing everything. And then I haven't like fully trained Neanderthal Addie. And we're still going to always have those urges. That's what kept us safe when we needed to be safe, right? And now, I mean, unless some criminal is coming after you, I mean, there's very few instances where we need to be safe, especially when it comes to our food, right? So, okay, so eat only what's on your plan. And this is you constantly ignoring your primal brain. This is when the urges are going to come up. If you don't do this, if you allow those subs, like when I went to the fridge last night, if I would have allowed that, I am not training Neanderthal Addie, right? And she's a tricky little bitch. Neanderthal Addie was pretty smart for being a Neanderthal. Just saying. She'll have all the kinds of reasons. Oh, that bison burger is super healthy. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, those sweet potatoes, remember how good those were? And the salt around the rim. You deserve that. You lifted. You did back squats. I think you should have a little higher protein. Like, you should probably have the red meat. Neanderthal bitch, see what she does? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got the 24-hour plan ahead of time. This is why it's important. It's important to be specific. Urges. This is the biggest part, you guys, allowing the urges to be there, learning to sit with them. So the idea is that our urge jars, right, this is going to have 100 rocks in it by the time I'm done. And every time I have an urge, I'm going to sit with it for 10 minutes before I feed it. And then you won't feed it because it's going to go away. And I'm going to put it in the jar, right? And then, yes. So your brain loves this rock in the jar, Brooke says. I'm like, look, I've listened to Brooke long enough. I'm just not debunking that there's a lot of scientific proof behind this friggin' thing working. Right? Like, she's pretty genius with the mind stuff. So your brain's going to love it. And it's going to also be a representation. So every time you see these, you guys, these two urges, I actually had 3 and I forgot about the rock, right? Like, it's a whole concept. But these represent food I would have eaten and weight loss. So by the time we're done, you're going to have at least probably 100 urges in here if you do this and if you sit through them. And that's going to be, like she said, it equates to like 20 pounds. Like most people's 100 urges equate to 20 pounds. Totally makes sense, right? Okay, and then you're going to track your weight each morning and your food at night, exactly what you ate, so you can see the relevance. And you need to do this without drama. This is where the drama comes in. And it all has to come from a place of you being a superhero observer of yourself and not a bitch to yourself. Stop being a bitch to yourself. I swear, man, like, start talking to yourself like you talk to your best friend, period. And every time you catch yourself not speaking nicely, reprimand that bitch. No, you are fabulous. You're fantastic. You're going to light this world up and you're going to learn to feel emotions and what it feels like in your body. And you can do it. You can feel emotions. We have just not trained ourselves to feel emotions. So it's simple, right? You've got a primal brain that wants to have constant gratification and is going to do anything possible to get what it wants, like the toddler in the grocery store that wants the candy bar. Are you the parent that gives in and gives them 5 candy bars that are bad for the toddler that's only going to train that toddler? Or are you the one that lets the toddler scream? And the next time they scream, it gets less and less and less. And you see how that works, right? As you continue to train that brain, you're going to be able to sit with those urges. And this is where you're going to look forward to the discomfort and the urges, because you're going to know you're unsettled about something. My urge last night was me wanting to eat when it was bedtime. I was tired, but I still had things I wanted and needed to do. And Neanderthal Addie wanted to eat. It was on my plan, quite honestly, to have a half a Slayer parfait for dessert. And a Neanderthal Addie wanted that Slayer parfait, and Slayer wasn't hungry. But it was on my plan, right? So I sat through that, and that was really hard, especially because it was on my plan. But to sit there, and it's definitely making me more aware of those urges again. And we're always going to have these urges. I mean, Neanderthal Addie isn't going anywhere, right? But how Slayer deals with Neanderthal Addie is changing, and that's what's changed this year. And you guys, this concept is key. Making your plan, eating exactly what's on it. And then, so let's say you go 2 weeks and you make a plan and you eat exactly what's on it and you're not losing weight. Then we look at the food, right? What food choices are you making? Then you know where to even start. If you're not being honest with yourself and writing down the foods you want to eat, and if you're constantly going off your plan because maybe you're putting too good of food, maybe you're not ready to eat carrots and celery sticks. Maybe you don't ever want to eat that shit like me. Like, I thought I was going to make a veggie tray that, like, last challenge, I think, or something. I made these little veggie snack trays. And I like carrots and celery. Zero motivation to eat those suckers. I ended up giving them away. I'm like, I just don't want that. I don't eat foods I don't want. Thought it was also very interesting. Brooke talks about no flour, no sugar in here. And how they create false cravings. And it's hard to dial into your hunger scale because she doesn't say this shit is crack, but you know I'm going to say it. So, aw, Paula, girl crush back on you, sister. Okay, let me do comments real quick. And you know I'm trying to, like, stay to my new shorter time limit here. Skinny name, Philomena, lover of strength. Ooh, I love that. All right, good morning, you guys. Kim, what's up? CWP, Danielle in the house. Sonia, good morning, Jamie. Oh, yeah, here's all the skinny comments. I'll read those again. Blade, well, we're a mind, like, so it's easy to talk to us. It's so true. Well, and that's the thing, when you start talking, like, if you guys have any interest of sharing your stories, just start talking about them. Because here's the thing, the people that aren't interested are just going to go away. It takes a while before you get some trolls, usually. I was really impressed when I got trolls. That was my moment. I knew I made it. But no, seriously, if you just start talking, putting your stuff out there, putting your truth out there, it doesn't mean you reveal everything about your life, but share, like, your heart and soul, and whatever story you are here to tell the world, start telling it. Start practicing. You'll go from that, you know, that less confident version into the one that's going to rock and light up the fucking world, right? Amber, starting my urge, used up 5 marbles in one day. Amber, I think I should have had more rocks in here. And re-listening to the Urge Jar this morning so I could recap it for you guys, because I watched that webinar at the end of the last Slay35 challenge. I was like, oh, because I have this protocol, because I am gluten and sugar free. I'm like, oh, just anything I eat will be healthy, which I should friggin' know better, because I've been gluten-free since pretty much like 2011, and I got up to 288 pounds. Now, I had a lot of sugar from some wine in there, I'm just saying, but, you know, you can't eat to a protocol and be overweight. You can't. It's called overeating. It's called not sitting in your urges, not learning the vibrations of your body. And you guys, I have to tell you, the positive vibrations for me were just as uncomfortable. Containing my greatness, that sounds so cocky, but it's true. Like, when you're truly radiating, the emotion from it can be overwhelming. I've had mornings where I am just so radiating with gratitude and like connection, and that I'm like tears coming down my face up the mountain, and just like it's feeling overwhelming. And having practiced feeling those feelings is a game changer. So I think we'll get into that a little bit more about feeling feelings, but for now, just know that's the importance of really not cutting your Neanderthal Addie any slack on she doesn't know where she's gonna be. If I don't know where I'm gonna be, I'll have some figgy pops in my purse for like emergency and have them on my plan somewhere. You know, but usually any restaurant, you know, and then now I was like, because I would just go, oh, protein and vegetables. But I know what happens when I get there too. If I don't have that plan made, my protein and vegetables turns into sweet potato hash and roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon and a grilled salmon, right? Where maybe Slayer wouldn't have picked that. Maybe she would have, you know, but because my prefrontal cortex brain, smart Addie Slayer didn't pick it, it can be a shit show. 11 minutes, yeah, I suck. Drama, always have drama when I don't feed my toddler brain. Yeah, Sabrina. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. How do I come back? Oops. That is what you want. You want to feel that drama. You want to sit through those urges. And by the time we have our jars full, we're going to have better trained Neanderthal Addie. We're going to have sat through all those urges, and there's no way we're not losing weight. But you got to do it too. You got to show up for you. You got to make a plan and no bullshit. Because literally you can have 4 or 5 things during a week. I'm out at a restaurant with friends. I've got an awards being quit. So I am going to do an event plan as part of the live either tomorrow or Thursday, maybe for tea time, because I have the awards ceremony Friday night, which is the first ceremony or work type event last year that I sat through sober. I got to find that video because that was a huge turning point for me. Being at an event like that. Okay, I gotta go. I haven't meditated yet, and I gotta do other stuff. I'm really trying to get better at not just flapping my jaws. Okay, I need to know, what do you recommend for planning on vacation? Well, you need to figure out where you're going, Kathy. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more when I talk about event planning. But here's the thing on vacation. Figure out where you're going. I will plan restaurants ahead of time. I pack Slayer Parfait, and I eat that. You know, there's a lot of different hacks you can do. And Corinne actually has some great podcasts on that too. My unhealthy alter ego is Carby Sanchez. Stephanie. Yeah, okay, you guys, I put the link to the podcast in the show notes. So listen to that tonight. You know, I used to do a tea time every night at 7. Sub in those podcasts. I'm going to start sharing stuff I'm filling my brain with, and in hopes that it'll help you guys too, and it'll really solidify these concepts we're working on. So planning is key. Let's slap those toddler bitches down. I love ya. I'll slay you later. You guys have a great day.